Hey, welcome to Moonai Open Relationship, the podcast.
Welcome to Moonai Open Relationship. Today is the episode 1. We are here sitting in Auckland, New Zealand.
Oh yeah.
And my name is Mr. T.
And my name is Gwen.
We're going to be taking you through our experience about open relationship and different ideas and suggestions that we have encountered over 7 years of open relationship. And
this is a continuation of my coaching services as an open relationship coach. So we already have an Instagram account and a TikTok page, and we thought it would be great to have this podcast here to talk a little bit more about our personal journey, our personal experience with open relationship, and I thought too it would be great to have Mr. T's wisdom and experience of his open relationship, male perspective, let's say.
Into the open relationship.
Exactly.
Cool. Disclaimers, we are not here to tell what you have to do with your open relationship or what is better than open relationship, what is worse than open relationships. We're not to portray any type of statement in that way. We're just talking about our experiences. And if you are underage, we might be talking about sexual experiences, and you might not be. It might not be your time to be listening to these things yet. But later on in life, you can tune into this podcast and get our experience through this audio.
Oh, Dean. This will be recorded.
Oh, yeah, forever. We'll say forever. That's it. Cool. That was it.
Once upon a time, in a country far, far away. Hashtag New Zealand.
We are in Once Upon a Time.
It was the best jingle ever.
That jingle, I enjoyed doing that jingle. So, welcome to Once Upon a Time. So, in this section, we're going to tell you a little bit about our experience through the years. Today, we're going to talk about how we started in this beautiful world, how we got into this.
Oh.
We might not get fully into what the open relationship was, but
so it's not from birth, right?
I hope so.
It's going to be a really long story.
It's the birth of this beautiful relationship. Okay, so
Yes.
How many open relationships did you have before this one? And how did you discover open relationship or the concept of open relationship?
All right. This relationship with you, Mr. T, is my first open relationship.
Good.
And it has been a really successful one. So
far.
I'm feeling really lucky. Lucky at the same time. There has been some work on both sides, so
I hope so.
We will talk about that later. This is my first open relationship, and before that I've had 3 big love stories, monogamous long-term relationship. I'm a little bit of a serial monogamist. I used to be a serial monogamist.
Serial monogamist. We're going to do Dexter, the serial monogamist.
I grew up with the fantasy of Prince Charming, so every time I was to go in a relationship, I would be like, oh, this is my Prince Charming again. Let's try this again. And actually it always ended up because I was feeling trapped in this relationship, and I remember feeling really, really worried about, oh my God, I'm going to be with that person forever and ever. and sexually especially, which was like that was my scary cry, by the way.
Yeah.
A little bit of a Chewbacca.
If you want to see this, you can tune into the other channels and when we'll be posting the videos as well.
Yeah, the face is important.
Yeah, the face is important.
I came across the concept of open relationship with a friend before I get to know you. I was still with my ex, and then he told me that he had heard about open relationship and actually more polyamory, which is a little bit different, but we can talk about that later on.
Mhm.
And yeah, I was like, oh my god, what is this? And I remember thinking, there's no way I can tell my partner about that. Like after being monogamous, no way. So yeah, that's what happened before meeting you,
Mhm.
and how I got to hear about that concept for the first time.
Mhm.
What about you?
Similar thing. I've never been in an open relationship until I started with you. I had 4 big committed relationships, long term. All of them around 5 years
Mm.
and so. 4, 3,
2, 1,
1, boom,
0.
0, action. No, I think we can say 3.
3 years?
No, three big relationships.
Oh, okay.
3 big relationships. If I was counting the amount of years, 5 years by 4 is 20 years. It's too long. I'm old, but I'm not that old, guys.
You're just really wise.
I'm really wise. So yeah, I had those relationships, and all those relationships kind of finished in the same kind of note. Similar than like you, I was feeling a little bit trapped in those relationships because I felt that a part of me was not able to express itself or come out in the right way. And the other big thing that I had since a very young age is this feeling that I don't want to have kids.
Mm.
And all my relationships kind of got to the same sort of stage of asking for that step to be part of the plan, and I never want to sign up for that plan, and the relationship is finished. So when I started with you, my point was to not get into a relationship anymore.
That's how it started, guys.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
In my brain and my heart, I knew that if the only way to have a relationship was in the parameters of what my parents have grown with and what society had shown me that is the norm, I didn't fit into that norm. I didn't feel that I was fitting into that norm. There were too many elements that were telling me that a relationship, a monogamous relationship, now I can define it in that way. In that moment, I couldn't, was not my thing, or I could not get into. So I said, cool, I can get into
casual sex,
casual experiences. I have good relationship with all my partners, casual and not casual. I keep talking with them. I keep in contact with them, and so I could have the same. And whenever I would feel that I was getting involved emotionally too much, I would break up because I knew where things were going. So from there, we started together, and before we started together, in the last year, a little bit early before, I think I had 3 contacts, 2-3 friends that talked to me about open relationship, or they were in an open relationship, which for me was like, what? Is this a thing? People do this? So I talked to them to see what it means first to have an open relationship. And 2 of these friends were in the circus world. I'm a dancer. For you guys who start knowing me a little bit, I dance semi-professionally, I say, or professionally. And these guys were in the circus world professionally. And they were telling me about this, that they were having this type of relationship. So I asked them how you talk to your partner about it, how you get into that. And they couldn't define at the moment what was their thing, how they started, how it was obviously there is no recipes, especially for this type of new relationship that in general society is not used to, and and it's not something that you talk openly about it is now, and it's getting more common. but back then was really hard. And I had other couple from the dancing world that were in an open relationship. In the same way, he told me, was like, "What the fuck?
Mm.
How can I get into this? Where are this woman? Where is the market that I have to go to find this woman?" And obviously there's not a market, just for the males that are listening. There's no market for this. Is something that happened. So yeah, that's how I hear about it.
Cool.
And going back to you,
Going back to me.
how was your first year of experience, and how?
With you?
Yeah, and how did we, or you, how it came about for you that this was a chance, that this was a possibility?
I think we started dating, and you had it really clear that you wanted to only have casual experiences. And I was at a point where I had finished a long-term relationship that was monogamous, and I was just like, yep, I want to have fun, I want to be single, I want to expand things, I don't want to go into something serious right now.
And I think something you told me before, like you kind of came with a sequence of relationship. You never had time or long time being single, etc.
Yeah. And had been in New Zealand for 1 year at a time, and I wanted people to get to know me for me, not because I was the girlfriend of someone else. And for me, that was really important. And I wanted to be financially independent. There were a lot of things that were happening at the time. I was like, yeah, I don't want people to know that I'm in a relationship. I don't want that. And I had no idea though at the time why I had been feeling trapped before in my previous relationship. But the interesting part is that because we were so casual, we didn't have that expectation of trying to please the other and to show the best side of each other. And I feel like that's something that sometimes we do when we are dating casually, that we are dating seriously. We're like, okay, this is serious and I want that person to really like me, so they commit to me. And so we tend to show a different side of ourselves that maybe is not the authentic side of ourselves. But then you were like super cash from the beginning. You were like, yeah, I don't want to get married. I don't want kids. This is just casual for me. I don't want long-term relationship. I was like, cool. Well, I don't need to pretend. I don't need to. That's awesome. I can be me. But what was interesting too, I think, is hearing that there was that option of not having to be married and not having to have kids. And I remember feeling that relief, like this weight coming out of my shoulders, that suddenly it was like, oh my God, I have that option. That's incredible. And I felt so much better that I kind of decided to follow that gut feeling and to be like, yeah, that's actually something that I really want for my life. So yeah. And then I think I still had this bad habit, not bad habit, but this habit of, even if we were casual, I was being exclusively casual with you. Which is something I used to do before. Is I didn't want to have multiple partners at the time, or in my brain I was not really programmed to do that. And you kind of encouraged me, and you're like, well, I told you about a guy that I really liked, that was really cute. And you're like, well, did you ask him for a coffee or something? And my brain was like, oh, is that a thing? And I was like, oh yeah, that could be cool. Okay. And I think that's how we started that whole thing. Like that, for me, that was the change. I went for coffee, and later on I actually had an encounter. Was that person?
A sexual encounter.
Oh, dear. And then you were completely fine, and you asked me how it went, and I was really excited to tell you about it. So that's how we started being casually non-exclusive. And you kind of did the same later on.
Yeah, for me it was initially very clear that this something I want to clarify for something that you're gonna hear from us a lot in the podcast. Not a lot, but as a characteristic of us, like we both don't want kids, and we don't believe in marriage society presented in general. So, but this is not a thing to be in an open relationship. We know a lot of people that are in an open relationship and they are married, they have kids, they have full-on families and everything, and it's all possible. It's all possible. It's just in our case, we both are in that boat that we don't want to have kids, and we don't feel like it's something that we want to experience in this life.
I think the relevance of that info for you guys is that when I heard Mr. T telling me about those options, it was kind of like the beginning of us deciding that we wanted to do something different, that we were going to be doing something different. And from there, it was just up to us to kind of design whatever we wanted to do from there.
So from my side, what happened was at the time I was starting to travel overseas quite a bit because my dancing, and through the world of dancing, it's you have connections with a lot of people. You get to situations, casual situations, where
quite easily,
and it's something that happened. And I never been keen in any of my relationships to cheat on my partners. I don't like the idea of cheating on my partners. But at the same time, something that I discovered over the years is that I had to hold back in who I was to not hurt my partners. And that case, what it makes me feel is that I was trapped as well on my other relationships. So I decided to, this is something that I started doing from early times when I was young, to present the cards of the bad cards. This is me. Yeah, this is the shit. If you like it, jump into the train. If you don't like it, stay on the station. Wait for the next train.
Nice. Well, that was good. Well done. High five.
That was a good analogy. Anyway, so I did the same with you. I told you I don't want kids. I don't want blah blah blah, and the same. Like, I was not wanting to get. My idea was to not get into a relationship. And I think I told you as well. It's like whenever we get a little bit serious, this is over.
I'm out. That's it.
Yeah. And what happened was almost 10 months. We were 10 months in, and I could feel like you were growing on me really well. Yeah. You were getting to the unicorn type of situation and say, okay, this is the time. I need to cut it because I know where this is going. And then you were way younger than me. You were
not that younger. You're not that old.
12 years, guys. 12 years. She was.
I was 12 years old.
Oh.
We have 12 years of difference.
12 years. She was 26. Yeah.
Not supposed to reveal the age of a lady.
We don't say. Oh, we say how many years we've been together. That's true. Screw you. I didn't screw myself. Anyway.
You did say you were 12 years older than me.
Mm-hmm. I'm really bad at math. I screw myself too.
All right.
Anyway, so at that point I said, cool, this time my time to step up. And there were other details at the moment at that point, but it was not that point. We kept going, and then it got to a point that we both confessed to each other we were falling in love with each other. And I said to you, I don't want to lose what we have so far. I don't want to lose this beautiful, like you said, we were talking and communicating to each other, or casual experiences. We were sharing that, and we both were enjoying it. We might talk a little bit more about the first couple of times that this happened, maybe next episode. But the good thing was at the time we both said the same, like, I don't want to lose this. We don't want to lose this. And from both of us came, I guess, all these friends in the past talking about open relationship. Okay, we can have a relationship. It is a possibility. Yeah. We can do this.
We can do it.
And here we are. 7 years later, we're still on it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna keep talking about this in the next
episode.
Yeah.
Because now we want to jump in a new section.
A little tip to think about. A little tip to think about. A little tip to think about. Little tip to think about. Now.
It's
So after this beautiful jingle,
guys, we spent the whole day recording all those beautiful jingle, and Mr. T is a bit of a crazy, amazing motion designer and everything that you can think about that goes with videography and everything. So he did an amazing job at creating those jingles. So I think I'm just gonna clap a little. I mean singing.
the singing was something else. That singing was something else. You guys can send us your perspective onto it.
So a little something to think about is section about us wanting to give you some tips to help you, and it's based on our experience of things
as well. Yeah.
Yes.
So what is the little tip to think about from Gwen?
I think a great way that you can start a conversation around non-monogamy is potentially to ask your partner if they have any fantasies around having sex with other people than you. I feel like it's a great way to kind of check if it's something that they could be interested in. Having a threesome with a woman or another man, which is something that actually triggered our story, where Mr. T asked me to talk about my fantasies with him, and one of them was about having a threesome with another woman, and that was the beginning of it, I think, of my sexual exploration, that journey. So it's a great way because there was no type of pressure of doing anything at the time, and then you can check what your partner is feeling about this.
Cool, that's good. A little tip to think about from Mr. T. I think that it's very important to not any type of encounter, or even in this situation when someone is telling you about their fantasies, do not try to minimize yourself or compare yourself to the fantasy or the other person that your partner is having a relationship or an encounter with. It's something that we have seen a lot, and a lot of people that just starts and they start doubting or questioning the value that they have for their partner, and it's not relevant at all. If you guys are in a healthy relationship, if it's something that you both have talked about, and we're gonna go into this later on in other episodes, it's really important to understand that your partner is not with another person to replace you, is to gain the experience to be with someone else, someone different than you.
Exactly.
And it will bring new elements to spice your relationship, to make your sexual encounters and your communication and your connection way better, and everything will improve. If you get into the run of questioning or comparing yourself to the other person, it will detract and will bring a lot of conflict, internal conflict, personal conflict, and obviously as humans we tend to project that in our pairs, and in this case your partner. So yeah,
it's a really good tip, really good one. It is not easy not to compare yourself, especially when your partner comes back and they're like super excited about something that happened to them during a date or whatever. But I think when you can get to that point where you're so happy for your partner to be so happy, and then you can kind of see, okay, what was it that made you so happy? And if it's something that you've never thought about doing before, then you can actually add that to your relationship. That's a pretty good way to improve it, right?
Yeah. For me, it's always been like taking notes of what you say.
He's got a whole notebook, guys.
Yeah. It's a black book. It's a Bible, actually.
I don't know if we want to bring religion into this podcast.
No. Yeah, but it helped me a lot to get to know you better. And like you said, like suddenly, oh, I never thought about doing this in this way, or doing something new, or bringing this element to surprise you, or to make you feel in a different way. And I think it helped a lot. Yeah, I'm not a jealous person in general. Like I don't have jealousy.
Yeah, you're pretty secure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can talk about that later, but
so many things to talk about later, guys.
I'm just teasing you. I'm just teasing you so you can go back to the next episode. Yeah, I think.
Cool. Awesome. So is it time for our last section?
The last section. Here we go. Last section.
You hear it, you type it, you send it, you ask for it. You hear it, you type it, you send it, you ask for it.
So after that amazing jingle, that was recorded by me.
Your singing is amazing too. Yeah, maybe we need to do like a singing competition or something. Like I feel like maybe we should change career fully.
No, maybe not. We can do a singing competition in the shower, and that could be a thing. That could be a thing. If it's any TV producer want to sign me up for ideas. Cool. We are in the section you ask for it, and in this section, what we're gonna do is we're gonna answer questions that Gwen receives on her channels on TikTok and Instagram. We're gonna try to reply to the most common questions that she gets there. So what is the questions for today?
What is the question? Well, I had this follower that told me that she's just agreed with her husband to try to open the relationship. So they've already talked about it, and she's keen to have a go at it, but she's not sure where to start.
Okay, cool. And
I think there's different ways to start. Obviously, you can straight away go into dating different people and right in there and see how that goes. You can talk as much about it as you want. The experiences, I found the experience usually different because you never expect all those feelings that you're going to have. So I think a good way to do it is actually to have an experience with your partner being involved. I think that's my point of view. For example, having a threesome, and then you can actually see your partner with someone else, and you can see it, and it kind of helps you instead of overthinking what's happening. That may help to keep it can help navigating the feelings of jealousy that you may experience at the beginning. Also, sex clubs are a great option because you don't actually have to have any actions there. You could just go with your partner and have a look and see how that goes. It's a different world. It's really a fantastic one. If you've never been, I think it's a really cool experience to have with your partner.
I think that is probably a good one. Go with your partner. This is more connected to the swinging world. We might talk a little bit longer about this later on.
Another one, good one.
But the good thing about the community of swinging in general is a very, very respectful. It's a very open-minded world. And probably is this idea, something that you were talking about before in terms of the tip. You brought your fantasy. So your fantasy is seeing your partner or being with another person, a female or male, and this is something that you can, once you test it, and the fantasy world is bringing this fantasy alive, and you will see through the conversations that you might have in the beginning what is best for you. Is it to bring a third person to your environment and have something and threes and see how it feels, or something a little bit more with more exposure is going to a six club, and then you can have that looking or seeing other people doing this action, and you will see that there's a foursomes and
A little bit of everything.
a little bit of everything. Keep exploring your fantasies. Keep exploring, like, for example, if you're not fully into having, if your partner wants to have another man, but you're not fully sure about this, you can bring toys into the relationship and start exploring with toys and see how your partner feels, see how you feel, and this might help to encourage and feel more secure about the situation of having a third person or fourth, who knows how many you want to have in the room. And this will relax you into the idea better.
True.
I think that the last point to add to all this, keep the communication open. And as you might not be able to define initially what type of open relationship you're going to have, but try to see what is the best for the both of you, and keep talking and expressing and bringing up whatever makes you feel uncomfortable or comfortable, or all the areas. Explore all the areas and try to not hold back.
On who you are and what you want and what you need.
Yeah, because that it's crucial to make this process and this experience work and be very successful.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you, Mr. T.
You're welcome. My pleasure to be here.
All right. So I think we're done for this first episode.
This is the end of this first episode, and for many more to come.
If you want to share your questions or your comments, you're welcome to do it on Instagram and on TikTok.
What is your Instagram and TikTok?
Munai Open Relationship.
There you go, guys. You can go.
So don't hesitate. I'm happy to help always. I usually answer all the DMs that I receive. And so, we looking forward to doing another episode and starting to receive questions from you. So,
cool.
Yeah.
See you next time, guys, or hear you next time, or listen to me next time, or I'll talk to you next time. Whatever.
And this, my friends, is the end of the episode. But don't worry, we will be back with the next one really soon. Ciao, ciao!